Welcome to part 6 of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Nice tatas.
You know what's what's sad?
What?
What?
We actually got X-Men in Fortnite.
Ugh.
Okay, we're gonna dig into that chestnut here. Yes, folks. For
Well,
those of you wondering, X-Men, X-Men, half of what originally birthed the X-Men vs. Street Fighter series, which would evolve into Marvel vs. Capcom.
Jova, there's not even...
Jova, we know. We don't have to treat our audience like idiots.
Not just that, Jova. There's not even the other half, because Akuma is not present in the game. The character...
Fuck. Jetta's pretty cool.
I know, right?
Like I said, Jedi is legitimately the highlight of the entire roster. Again,
Okay.
Again,
Well,
it shows that...
I've never played Darkstalker, so Jetta's. This is like one of the second times I've seen.
You and like 99% of the planet.
They did something similar to MK Trilogy, where the third game is our Ultimate Edition, like that has the entire roster of the entire trilogy. So if you want to experiment gameplay-wise, check that.
Oh, wait a minute.
And it's available on the Xbox 360.
No, I have played
PS3.
Darkstalkers. The barcade in the city has it.
Cool.
Or at least they had it.
Was it the one that is it the one that had Moonwalker?
Yeah, it was in St. Mark's. Dude, that place
Dang it! Why didn't you tell me?
That place had so many
would've
good
played
fucking
that.
arcade consoles.
Okay.
I wish we played that instead of the Golden Axe one. Although that one was actually pretty cool.
Okay, Dedge, please tell me you're gonna use pen and stare.
Jesus Christ.
I already asked him. I don't think he knows the input.
You're giving me
No,
fucking
I don't.
Vietnam flashbacks of Belmonts.
That's the point.
Well, okay. That is one good thing about Ghost Rider. If you know how to use this chain well, it's right. But don't overuse it because enemies will eventually start to read you.
Well, you spam a move long enough in any fighting game, you'll be read.
Except Dead or Alive.
You mean Dead on Arrival 6?
Ooh.
I think, as far as I'm aware, the only thing that you can spam in a fighting game and not be punished for is Mr. Game & Watch's neutral air. It is almost next to impossible to be punished because he has...
Sonic's forward smash.
No, that's easy. He has end lag. But Mr. Game & Watch, like, almost has -1 frame of end lag. It's next to impossible.
Okay, so it's time for the party to start to converge.
Okay, so this scene annoys me right
We're
here.
about to get the cringiest moment in the entire story, I think.
Has it ever occurred?
You just saw.
Has it ever occurred to you that Iron Man's helmet kind of has the grumpy cat face, just the way it looks?
Please
Wait, what?
do not.
It looks more like a mustache to me than anything.
It kind of looks like Satsuki's frown.
From Kill la Kill?
Also, I know that in this period in the comics, Hawkeye had that costume, but I'm sorry, I don't really like it.
Well,
Even in general, even the comic version.
Well, Tio,
Wait,
reason...
before you say something, I just need to point this out. Captain America tossed Iron Man the stone,
and then he threw
Iron
it
Man
right
tossed
back.
it back. What was the point?
How about no?
No.
Not when you say it like that.
Ow.
Oh wait, Death is in
I mean,
this,
is
right?
Thanos?
Yeah. We're about to have Thanos simping again.
So, is Thanos technically a villain, or is he just that morally great?
Anti-villain. He's a guy who will do anything to reach his goals, but if there's a bigger threat, he understands we need to collaborate with the others.
Yeah, he's definitely a villain, but if he needs to work together with like the Avengers, he doesn't care as long as it gets what he wants.
See, Rocket in this shot is actually fine. I don't understand what's wrong with most of the interaction of the cutscenes.
Hey-ya! Doesn't Cap
have
an
that?
Right. Roger isn't Captain America in this for some reason.
Yeah. He had said he voices Chris Redfield.
That's very interesting.
He did voice Captain America in
Again,
Ultimate Spider-Man.
again, most of the Marvel characters got their voice actors changed because that was reflective of what was going on in cartoons at the time.
Except Laura.
Which is why Travis Willingham was 4.
So, I guess we're gonna address the elephant in the room here regarding that.
Ryu sucks in this game. Yes, there's something
Not
about him
not just
that's
that.
completely pushed it.
Not just that. Like again, the thing that baffles me the most. the Capcom side of the roster is the one that I prefer between the two for obvious reasons. But here's the thing, still, only 2 Street Fighter characters and they're very basic, Ryu and Chun-Li. Where the fuck is Akuma? I'm sorry, this is
Akuma,
like...
Ken,
Oh,
Guile.
that's a good segue.
Jury.
I was looking... Sea Viper...
Well, okay.
Gil was originally supposed to be the Ultimate Marvel...
Well, guys, maybe if the roster was bigger, we could have fit more in there.
That I understand. It's more of a matter like why not replacing Hagar with Akuma instead?
Well, okay. To be fair,
Zangief.
To be fair, they probably want to try, the keyword being try because they failed. They wanted to try and avoid, oversaturating one particular franchise. Again, though, like I said...
I'm sorry, Street Fighter is kind of the Mega Man is more like the Mario of Capcom, but Street Fighter is still
it's Street Fighter now. It ain't Mega Man anymore.
They kind of need to have
in terms of the
that.
cartoonish franchise.
In terms of cartoonish franchise, yes. In terms of poster boy and money making, absolutely not.
But that's what I mean.
It's months.
3 characters instead of 2 would actually have been fine. Like, there's not even talking about the fact that Darkstalkers now only has 2 characters in it, just 2. And, like, look, I'm all ecstatic for seeing finally Jedi Dome in a 3D environment and everything. In fact, it's rendered pretty decently, but come on. Like, literally anyone else other than Morrigan, I get it that Felicia could not be here because already in MVC3 there were some kind of laws that could not show part of her body because of potential nudity.
That's so fucking dumb.
Actually, Tio, that is not the reason she didn't come back here. She would have
come
back, but
I know that, Jove. I'm talking about, I get the idea when, they wanted to avoid anything on that regard, but
that is not the reason she did not come back.
I don't know, stuff like Donovan Bane, or...
Again, Tio, that's not even the reason she didn't come back. The main reason was just because they didn't prioritize her for the roster here and there.
No, I understand. I'm just talking about hypothetically selecting a Darkstalker's character because,
Was that just Omega Beams? What the fuck?
No, they're not because we don't travel like that. We're more direct hit.
Look, Terrence, I know that Darkseid and Thanos are compared.
Darkseid came first.
To some extent.
Yeah, but Thanos has a cool helicopter, so he wins.
It's funny because both were created by Jack
they were
Kirby.
cowards for not putting an Endgame.
With his name on it.
So, anyway.
It's kind of funny. Both Thanos and Darkseid do look similar, and they were both created by Jack Kirby. And yet, people gave Rob Liefeld so much shit for creating the same identical characters a lot of time.
Yeah, because
the thing is, Jack Kirby is actually respected.
Yeah, unlike Rob Liefeld, Jack Kirby's an actual talented artist.
So, anyway, let's talk about the roster itself here. Now, this is...
Oh my god, he's an Inkling.
Fury. Yes. So this is part...
Stay fresh!
So this is part Fury and part actual stuff to go off of. So, you may be wondering, let's start with the Marvel side of the roster here. The obvious reason that got squared down was because of MCU pandering. It has been no secret that MCU pandering has affected pretty much every other branch of Marvel. The comics and the video games here and there.
Not the Spider-Man PS4 game.
Yeah, but that's because Insomniac was given free rein to do
I can tell you this, compared to previous open world Marvel games, like stuff like the Latvian embassy was replaced with the Wakandan embassy. So that raises a lot.
Also, hate to burst your bubble, but as of the PS5 remaster, MCU pandering has struck there with them changing Peter Parker's design.
But
you know what the beauty of that is? You don't have to play the PS5 game, you can play the PS4 game.
But the frame rate...
And you can play the PS4 game on the PS5.
Exactly.
That's the thing,
though. It'll automatically update to the PS5 version.
And that's why we don't play the PS5 version.
Alright then, don't
play
it on
the thing,
PS5.
though.
I mean, it's also 2021. Who owns a PS5?
I know, right?
A lot of people.
Who owns a PS5 and respects themselves?
The sad thing is you're not wrong because I know.
Okay,
Terrence, we all owned Wii U's
This
here,
is
so I don't
actually
think
one moment that I like about the
I'm
story where the
proud
characters.
to own them because it's good for hacking purposes. So.
This is one of the moments I actually prefer about the story because the characters are actually collaborating together and using devices from all over the place to create a big fuck you laser. Essentially, there we go.
I like how it's Iron
Kinda
Man with
cool.
the two
I wish the story had more moments like these.
You and me both. But anyway, so the roster's problem here.
Get on
is that
with it.
The point is that Marvel
Oh,
side.
God damn it!
Can't they just use
Let Jova speak, please.
basically, the Marvel side is... Oh, God, another stupid
It's
time skip.
MCU pandering, yes we know. What about the Capcom side?
I was talking about the stupid time skip in the story, actually. Yeah, that's the thing. When I'm trying to talk about something wrong, the story reminds me of something else here. But this is just basically Thanos simping on Death again.
Okay.
Essentially,
So, if you have sex with death, do you die?
As
No.
Deadpool.
No.
Okay.
You don't.
Carry on.
Believe it? Okay. Basically, Death is just sort of an alien in the Marvel Universe who happens to reign over it. It's complicated.
It's very
Anyway.
complicated.
So, as for the roster, the Marvel side is obviously smaller because of MCU pandering, therefore it was squandered down. So, from what I can understand, the Capcom side was going to be much bigger, but because we gotta have equilibrium, which is ironic because if you factor in all the DLC, there ended up being more Marvel characters than Capcom characters. Oops. But yeah, for the sense of equilibrium, Capcom had to cut down on their own side of characters here and there, which is pretty much a darn shame. So, basically, we can blame Marvel for being stingy, but we can also blame Capcom for wanting to stick to a really outdated tradition anyway, in that regard here and there. The problem is...
I do wonder, Jova, if there's like a contractual thing where in a part of a crossover, no side has to be excessively bigger than the other.
It does make me wonder. That said, though, the choices that Capcom made for their side of the roster, as you have mentioned, are baffling to say the least. For instance, Firebrand. Really?
Yeah.
You chose Firebrand after over so many different and varied characters here and there.
So I love
Also-
Ghosts and Goblins, but Firebrand really could have been avoided for this.
And don't get
It's
me
the most
wrong.
iconic part about the game.
I think Castor was a bit more, but whatever.
Yeah, not only that, but Firebrand
And
is even...
Firebrand also got his own spin-off.
Fair enough.
And yet, he wasn't really the most popular of fighters here and there.
Also, one question related to what's going on. Okay, maybe actually explaining that I wasn't paying too much attention, but before, keep in mind, this is still before the convergence. How did Jeddah manage to breach the barrier between the two universes?
Shut up!
He found a Chaos Emerald, and Dr. Eggman
I'll take it.
saw him pirate his
It's-
signal.
Go ahead,
It's
Jova.
like I said. Why bother having a crossover if you're not even going to show the proper crossing over? Like, again, it feels so weird that they would start this thing in the middle. Ultron.
I actually do like Ultron's design in this game. It's really fucking
It's straight
cool.
out from the comic. It's straight out from the comic.
It's better than the Age
Pretty
of
much.
Ultron design.
I mean, that's not hard to
stupid
do.
Bayformers
that's not hard.
piece of garbage.
That's not hard to
The-
do.
Stupid,
I mean,
stupid.
I wish this design was in the movie because it's just so cool. Because he looks like a fucking skeleton,
Like,
and
why did
that's
they give
cool.
him lips?
So
Why
basically,
does he
this.
look like a Bayformer?
A weapon to
Um,
surpass Metal Gear. Go on, Jova.
So if I recall correctly, this is them showing us what happened in the past or something
Yeah,
about
basically
how
the
Ultron
moment
From Iron Man's perspective.
the
'cause
moment
he
where
time
Ultron and
stone.
Sigma met and ultimately merged.
Again,
You hate
why?
humans too? Oh my god, so do I.
So here's
Same.
And then Samatsu comes in and is like, "Sup, boys?"
Okay, can
So-
someone help me on this one quickly? Who voices Sigma in this game?
Abdul from Stardust Crusaders.
Cool.
Oh really?
so
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
So here's my question: why wasn't this at the start of the campaign? Literally, you could have had
because
this at the start
They
of the
keep
campaign.
trying to build this up as like a mystery on how things happen, but it's not really. You
It
really
was
could have
spoiled
just.
in the. It was
was
spoiled
for the
in the
marketing, but-
advertising.
Yeah.
Fucking.
You know-
You really could have just showed it at the beginning.
His name is Chris Telegraphia.
Thank you.
seeing,
And okay,
seeing Sigma's design like this makes me so fucking depressed because I want a new Mega Man X game.
by the way, for those of you wondering, these guys are technically playable characters. However, Sigma
One's
is
DLC.
DLC.
And he was revealed as DLC since before the game came out. I was like, he's the main villain.
That's scummy.
Also, you know what's ironic? People went from wanting Mega Man characters into, well, accusing the Mega Man characters of oversaturating the
technically
roster.
speaking, the Mega Man X characters are the more prevalent in the Capcom roster, with three of them.
Yeah.
Actually, since you're a Danganronpa fan, Jova, he voices Tanaka from Danganronpa.
Oh, nice. Anyway, you were saying, Shiroi?
This actually really is interesting because both Sigma and Ultron are just viruses. So it's a virus infecting a virus and infusing with that said virus.
Well,
I think it's a bit
not-
more complicated. Ultron is more of a rogue AI, while Sigma is an actual virus made sentient.
If I remember correctly, Ultron did turn into somewhat of a sentient virus. Kind of, I think
That's one of
that
the
happened
thing-
before Sigma.
That's one of his way of spreading, but otherwise its main identity is an actual rogue AI.
Anyway, Shiroi, you were saying?
You know what game shows how the crossover crossed over? Puyo Puyo vs. Tetris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You're
know,
not wrong.
honestly, yeah, the story there is much better executed than this one here. Again, I
haven't
if
beat
there's
it
one-
yet, but I refuse to believe you.
No, I hold to that. I've played both its and its sequel. They have better stories than this.
Never forget, it is canonical that Eggman made a deal with Satan.
Wait, what?
And
I
Sonic
could buy
Runners.
it.
It's Sonic Runners.
I haven't played Sonic Runners. I didn't know it had any kind of story.
All the gods of destruction that the Sonic franchise has battled with are really surprised.
Okay, so I'm gonna go on a bit of a limb here, but how much you guys want to bet that some of the roster here was decided by the story mode of all things?
I wouldn't be
Pretty well,
surprised.
that's pretty
I mean,
obvious.
that's how Mortal
a lot of-
Kombat does it.
God, this
And
one is
even
so
Tekken.
stupid.
Even technically, but most of modern fighting games do that, Jova, these days.
Also, Shiori, before we end this, here you go.
Wow.
See you in the next part, everybody.
Oh.
Thanks, Satan.
Yeah.
Kudos.
Thanks, Satan.